up, guys? Go ahead.
A bunch of explosive playmakers looking for more explosives in the pass game. What'd you think of them today at practice?
Thought they've had 2 good days. I never tried to look into it too much. I mean, we're just trying to get the guys out there, get them introduced to the offenses and stuff, and got through 2 healthy days, which is the biggest goal, and thought we were better today than yesterday.
Aside from that, what is your goal with this week of OTAs, next week of OTAs, and then the mandatory minicamp?
To not get anyone hurt and find any way to get better with everything we do. You know, there's a lot of things at this time of year that I always feel in order to get better at football, the true way, you got to practice football full speed. And we're working through a lot of that stuff right now where you learn how to do that. There's certain things with rules and things with safety that we can't fully go by. So our whole goal is to get as much out of this as we can while still protecting everyone.
You had Pearsall, Cowling, and Jordan Watkins were at it again. I mean, we last saw them really click last offseason. They all got hurt. Have you seen improvement in their game other than them just simply being healthy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ricky, we got to see throughout the year battling his injuries. Jordan and Jake, we didn't get to see quite as much of. They all came back healthy. I was really excited how Jordan and Jake came back, though. You could tell they came back. It wasn't just healthy. You could tell they've been putting work in, and coming in here in shape and stuff has allowed them to get a lot of farther ahead in these 5 weeks than just coming here to get shape. They've come here to me to play and work.
How are Bosa, Michael, and Keon White coming along from?
They're coming along. They're all in their rehab with a number of other guys. A couple of those guys will have a chance at training camp, and we'll see with Michael as it goes.
As you go about incorporating Mike Evans into his offense, what kind of unique characteristics and traits does he bring that maybe you guys didn't have?
I mean, Mike's a Hall of Fame receiver, so just, you know, his experience of the game, what he's done in this league, just the respect he's earned, that's different than, you know, I haven't had many guys like that except for Andre Johnson and Julio, just, you know, with the career he's had so far. And just what's unique about Mike is his get off, how he can attack down the field, and I've never been around a guy that was that tall with that long of arms, the competitor he is. So I'm excited to add the person to our offense and the talent.
Some similarities from where Sterling is coming from versus the program he's coming into. Has he seen it be able to catch on pretty quickly, or what have you seen from Sterling?
I mean, we've only been out there 2 days, but, you know, he's done all our drills for the 2 weeks we had him in phase 2. It's been awesome in the meeting rooms, works his tail off, and it's been good to watch him in 2 practices, but that's what they're going through right now. We throw a ton of stuff at them. They usually do good the first couple of days. They usually melt the second week, and they usually come back in training camp a little bit better for it.
What have you seen from Brock Purdy after watching his film from last year and how he's approaching this season? I know it's early, but
like he always does. I mean, Brock always comes in here not to mess around, not to be complacent in anything. He's always expects us to be hard on him through the tape. He's one of the most fun guys to coach because he's never sensitive, and he's very deliberate in everything he does out there.
Have you decided, or have you worked with the coaches you're going to be going up against in the preseason as far as joint practices?
Yeah, we're most likely going to go up against Tennessee and the Chargers.
And with the Chargers, is there any at all thought about, you know you're going to be playing them during the season as well? Like, does that factor into practicing?
Not really. No, it's say pretty vanilla. You know, you're not scheming and stuff and doing stuff in practice. You know, it's just more getting guys a chance to go against a couple different things than they usually go against.
I know Evans was there yesterday. Didn't see him today. Is he around? Is it you're just going to kind of spot some of these veterans and some of these workouts?
I mean, it's voluntary. So when they got stuff going on, you know, Mike had some family stuff he had to deal with back in Texas, I believe. So he was here the last 2 days, but had to take out today, and expect him to get back here next week.
How come Mac Jones didn't throw?
His shoulder was a little sore today. He said he could have gone through it, but it was unnecessary, and gave a chance for other guys to get more reps.
Do you notice any sort of boost for Fred just having Dre around?
Maybe a little. I think there's a boost for everybody. Like, everyone loves Dre around, just the way he carries himself, how into football he is, and it's really cool when I talk to the team to sit back there, see those guys shoulder to shoulder. And I've seen them like that their whole careers together, and there was 1 year off, and it's pretty cool to get him back for everybody. But yeah, Fred's excited.
You have a few new defensive linemen. Do you get a chance to look at them at all right now, even though like it really isn't going until?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge about now. I mean, we look at them a ton in their individual drills and stuff, and that's what they've been working on for really 5 weeks. And these last 2 practices, you know, we did yesterday without helmets, today with helmets, just so they don't run into each other with their teeth. but just the whole deal is nothing's full speed. So you're using your hands, things like that, which is more assignment based, is trying to give the safeties, the running backs the right look at what hole they go to. But no one's out there really competing or trying to make a play. So it's more about their conditioning and give them a chance to try to be ahead when we get to camp.
One of the talking points during the draft was that Kalon Black didn't have many catches at Indiana. What have you seen from him as far as route running and just how comfortable he looks catching passes?
I see a guy that I think could be developed in the pass game. I mean, we definitely were excited about him and the first thing we loved about him was him as a runner. But we've gotten a lot of guys here who didn't start out great in the pass game, have the skill set to do it. They just haven't worked at it that much. And I know JP was like that. I know Elijah was like that. I thought those guys got a lot better. And I see Kalen being the same way. He's got the skills to do it, just needs to work at it.
You asked the veterans to come in and really take charge and be leaders throughout this whole kind of voluntary workouts. Do you have most of the guys here? Is Trent Williamson?
Yeah, Trent's the only guy who hasn't been here yet. He's coming here next week. Everyone else has been good. You guys know Mike's missing today, but everyone's been awesome. I mean, it's a little different than last year. I mean, last year we had such a mass exodus of people who had been around and carried that team for about 5 years in a row that there was only about 12, 13 specific guys I was kind of talking to. And now when I kind of talk to the leaders and kind of the makeup of our team, especially from last year and stuff, there's guys all over. I mean, it's a bigger group now. It isn't just veterans. There's some number of second-year players who have started 2 years. There's a number of third-year players who are and going into their fourth year have already started 3 years. So a little different situation than last year with just the group and overall different team. It's a different team than 3 years ago, definitely, but it's similar to the team we had last year.
Conversations with Kittle about how he's feeling. I know he was out there a little bit later. Is he saying anything interesting? I know some think he may come back earlier, but
I mean, he's on track and very positive and happy every day, like Kittle is, and doing good. I mean, Kittle works his tail off, and he's extremely talented and gifted, so he'll do it as fast as you can.
You talked about how you had some of the veterans over to your house for dinner. What was your message to them?
I mean, I did that last year for the first time, and I think I've told you guys about that, or other people have. It was 13 guys, and it was all guys who had been here 4 years or longer, just to tell them kind of the difference going into this offseason compared to the previous 5. I tried to do the same thing, but when I looked up there and tried to pick those guys, there was too many of them now. There was too many guys who had kind of been a part of it, so I just ended up inviting guys, most of the starters who had been here the last 2 years. It's tough. I can't invite 90 guys over to my house, and I don't want to invite 50 guys over to my house right now. So I got to have a spot to cut it off so it doesn't get too much. But we just talked about how I wanted the guys to be in this offseason and just the group there that was starting. And doesn't mean they're guaranteed to start this year, but we're the group that kind of went through it together last year and just leading us this way.
What was your first impression of Osadiki Zuwa over the last few days?
I mean, I've been extremely impressed with him since the day he got here. I mean, I've heard about it. It was advertised. I always knew about him just from tape. Once we traded for him, all the phone calls we got and the type of guy he is. But, I mean, he's been one of the best leaders on the team so far. Just how he works, how thorough he is on everything, what he does on his own, bringing guys along with him. Everyone from Dallas told us this, and it's been that way. He's been a stud.
Kyle, when you talk about that roster transition from 2 years ago to last year, you guys had set a high standard here, and sometimes something can get lost in translation in that type of transition. Do you feel like that standard has been either restored, maintained, kept intact, or maybe even gone higher since that time?
I mean, I think we have a standard. We try to talk about the standard and how we work and how we approach each day, which is with everything we got. I think our standard for our team always tries to stay that way. I mean, I like to look at a standard for results and stuff, but I think that was more our message last year. Like, we can't get obsessed with the results. You tend to get obsessed with them, especially with how close we've been. But I don't think that's the healthiest thing for our team. I didn't think it was last year. I think I kind of got my point across on that, and we had some success. Didn't accomplish the one goal we're always setting out to do, but we had some success, and now it starts over.
Is Greenlaw definitely written in as the weak side linebacker? I mean, he has had some injury stuff, but that's the guy who's going to be a weak side?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you think about keeping D just to make sure, or you were just...
Oh, we did. I mean, and lots of linebackers play also. You know, I mean, when it's base, there's 3 out there, so we would have loved to keep D. We also just looked at our overall roster. When you look 1 to 2 years out, also knowing the number of unrestricted free agents we have, the number of guys that we do feel can make this team at linebacker, the thought that we were going to add linebackers in the draft, and then just it's hard to stockpile players. And when you can add a draft pick and add a younger guy when you might be losing someone the next year and stuff. I mean, last thing I wanted to do was trade D. I mean, at all, we love D as a player. We love him as a person. We know how much he'd help us as one of our top 3 backers. We know how much he'd help us if Dre or Fred got hurt. But then you also look into contracts, how a year out and stuff that is, and what you're doing in the draft. And sometimes you got to make tough decisions like that can possibly help you in the future.
Be the leader at the strong side right now.
There isn't a leader. It's open for everyone. I mean, GIF held that the strongest last year, but it's open for everyone right now.
Would Bethune at all be an option there, or do you just want to save him to back up in the mic?
Linebacker, just like receiver and just like interior lineman, you got to be an option at all 3. I mean, you only got so many people up on game day, so you always got to be an option. We do believe Mike Tatum's strength. That's what he did in college. That's what we feel his skill set sets at the best. But we usually have 5 guys make it, sometimes 6. You're always going to usually keep the best 5 or the best 6, however that pans out.
Oh, did you say that Nick Bosa is here rehabbing?
Yes.
And then what's the interest level in signing his big brother?
I mean, I love signing good players. But I mean, my kids do Instagram and look at your guys' stuff, so they ask me that all the time too. I'm not hearing about all that stuff much. I look at our team as kind of we have our team, and anyone else that we can figure out to bring, especially someone like that would be awesome. But this stuff's not always possible.
We've been pretty vocal about going to Australia week 1, but the league scheduled you guys 3 home games after that. Just your thoughts on that after going to Australia?
I mean, 3 home games is irrelevant. That doesn't mean anything. It means you're going to have 3 more road games in December and January. So that's my answer on 3 home games.
Where does Nick Martin stand in that linebacker room? He took a while for him to get on the field last year, and once he did, had that concussion that sort of
I think we got 2 guys who've established as starters, and I think we got a big-time competition for 3, 4, 5, and 6.
You were very positive about Jordan James at the end of last year, saying that you were kind of keen to get him in, but the opportunity didn't show up. What have you seen from him now back on the field?
Similar to I think what someone asked earlier about Jordan Watkins and Jake. I'm always curious how these guys are going to come back when we see them for the first time in April or the end of March, whenever that is. And sometimes guys come off their rookie year and they finally relax because they've been going since their bowl game, since the combine, and they come really out of shape. And those are the guys that usually have a sophomore slump or the guys that don't get it. And so I was really curious to see how he came back, and it was really cool. He came back in shape on day 1, which I think's allowed him to really gain ground in these 5 weeks. He didn't come here for us to get him in shape. He came in shape, and it allows him to get better at football.
What's going on with Grindo?
Grindo tore his pec lifting about a month ago.
Is that a season ender?
It's not a season ender, but it's right around the end of training camp.
As far as that strong side spot at linebacker, is it too much to think that Jaden Duggar could come in and play that role? He seems kind of custom built for it, but he's also a rookie.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much. I mean, we've had rookies come in here and play a linebacker. If you look at Greenlaw and you look at Fred, not trying to compare anyone to those 2 guys, but it's always a possibility. I mean, the spot is open. We have 2 established guys, and we can have an on-the-ball linebacker as a 3rd. We can have an off-the-ball linebacker. We got a number of different skill sets in that room this year, and I think it'll be one of the more fun positions to watch, how it plays out.
Just reading between the lines, it doesn't seem like you're too thrilled about your schedule. Is that
I mean, I try to answer questions without, like I told you guys when you guys asked, I said, when you get it, you just deal with it. And that's what I'm dealing with. Now, you'd rather not travel that much, but I don't care as much about that. It's more about recovery.
Are you guys doing anything special with the Australia trip? Like, how early are you going to get in? Do you spend another night there? What are you guys doing?
I mean, usually when you travel 19-hour flight, you don't want to get there the day before because you lose like a whole day there too, and you're just messed up. The people we've talked to, you don't feel normal to like the 3rd or 4th day. So we'd like to go out 7 days early, but since it takes a day and a half to travel there, we're going to go 9. I think we leave on Wednesday and land on a Friday. And so then we get there about 7 days before our game. I think it's Friday. We play Thursday, or Friday morning, Australian time, Thursday here. So that's it.
Camp here a little bit, right, because of that?
You have to. I mean, when we're starting, everyone gets that bye week after your fourth week. The whole NFL gets 3 bonus practices and 4 mandatory days off. We're traveling on that third day to Australia, so you kind of miss that week to recover, and to have those days off and those bonus days. So it ends up being about a week different than usual.
You like to have your extra week of practice here, or in your mind you were having an extra week of practice there?
I would love to have 3 extra bonuses practice here and then 4 days off, like everyone. But when you open on a Thursday, on the other side of the world, you lose that because it takes a couple days to travel there. It takes a couple days to adjust.
Earlier, the camp.
We can't start camp earlier. Camp's all based off of, I think, 15 days away from your first preseason game. So you just lose those days.
Have you already finalized plans for Mexico City? Will you do
We haven't
altitude?
finalized it yet, but we'd love to stay here and go there. It's a shorter flight, but that's not really the issue. The main thing with Mexico City is it's 2,000 miles higher than Denver, and so we like to get adjusted to that altitude. So we'll probably go to Colorado Springs again like we did last time to get ready for that altitude, and then probably go to Mexico City the night before.
Do that straight from Dallas?
We haven't decided that yet, but most likely we'll probably end up. The Mexico City trip will probably be a longer one than the Australia one, just because of that.
Yes, good.
All right, guys. Good seeing you guys.
Process been like for you going after already going through it, earlier in your career?
It's different every time. Definitely a long road. Never fun, but as you get better physically, your mind gets better also. So it's just not about looking ahead. It's just about day by day getting better and just working back and then kind of figuring things out as you go.
Where are you right now in your recovery?
I'm pretty far along. I'm out on the field doing a lot of stuff, trying to just take it slow because I tend to push things quicker, and obviously I got injured pretty early last year, so there's plenty of time for me to really kind of lay the groundwork to be ready for a long season. So it's going really well, and I plan on being ready.
What you just mentioned about everything you just mentioned, and you mentioned the process of the mind getting back there. How has that process been mentally for you, and then where are you today in that process?
It was rough early on. Obviously, you just want to be able to play, especially how good things were going for the defense, and me personally, I felt that I was at a pretty high level to start the year. And then as you start out wanting to quit and never play again and never put your body in that position again, and then slowly you realize that you love this game and you want to get back to it and get back to. And I mean, I've never doubted that I could get back to where I am. It's a good thing I play today and not back when my dad did, because I probably wouldn't be playing anymore. But luckily they fix you up pretty good, and I'm feeling really good. So my mind's also better. I think I've obviously had a lot of time to work on that and just kind of enjoy some time off. And all the rest of my body feels pretty darn good. My fingers probably haven't felt this good in 20 years. So, yeah, I'm excited.
You said in the excitement, how do you feel about Raheem Morris coming in as
It's been great. He's really funny in the meetings. He's kind of like a comedian up there, but also very knowledgeable, and obviously has a background with the Rams and obviously being a head coach. So he has a lot of familiarity with the offenses that we're going to be playing against and that we have to have success against. So I'm excited.
You mentioned that every time it's a little different for you. How has it been different this time specifically?
Just where you are in your career and your life, and just how you go about it. Like when I did it in 20, it was just like balls to the wall, get back, push every milestone as hard as you possibly can. And I probably dealt with some stuff that I didn't need to deal with in terms of just kind of the bumps in the road of recovery. And now I'm taking it slow. I kind of have references to go back and look at. But yeah, I mean, just mentally, like obviously I was in a different spot there, and now, I mean, it's just a different time. And my second one on this knee, so it was a little different. They took from that patella again. So the tendon needed a little more time to kind of adapt, which was an adjustment, but it feels great. So,
How do you feel as far as Morris may throw a lot more five-man fronts? How's your job changed in a four-man as opposed to a five-man front?
My job won't change too much either way. It just kind of sets us up in a better position to stop some of the ways that offenses are starting to attack the edge. But I'll be playing the same attack football that I always do.
When you see a bunch of stadiums that are hosting World Cup, they also host NFL, putting in grass for the soccer and then going back to turf for the NFL.
I didn't hear about that.
How do you react to that? As I know you've been, a bunch of players obviously want more grass field to see them.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre, but what can you expect?
It's awful to see the injuries that happened last year, but all of you rehabbing together, did it give you a little bit more support emotionally?
I mean, yeah, I guess I'd obviously never want to see guys go down, but having Fred along the road every morning in the training room getting worked on in the early stages, and then obviously Michael joining the gang, but yeah, I mean it's kind of a lonely time, so having those guys helps.
Michael kind of lean on you.
What was that?
What have you seen from the rookies so far, Romelo and Jason?
Really far along group. Obviously, we haven't done much football yet, but just really good looking athletes. And every single guy that we brought in, the 3D tackles and Romelo, I'm not missing anybody, right? Huh?
Kamara.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and Mikhail. We got some similar names in there. But yeah, no, even Mikhail, Romelo, they all look like pretty far along. You usually don't see guys going through the drills looking as well as they have. So obviously it's not football time yet. And it's tough nowadays because you can't really, we're doing like a full speed walkthrough type thing. And we weren't wearing helmets yesterday. So for the D tackles, it's like, it's almost counterproductive because you're teaching bad technique essentially. So, but we'll see. But Romelo looks explosive, looks really good. He looks polished for a rusher, which is nice. So.
John talked about him being kind of Gundy-esque, similar. I remember what you were really complimentary of Drake Jackson when he first came in. Is it kind of that similar type of bend?
Yeah, similar. Drake was something I've never seen in that sense, but Romelo's really explosive, fast, and he kind of looks a little more polished than Drake was. But yeah, it'll be fun to work with him.
What ways did Michael lean on you throughout that process, Michael? What ways did he lean on you?
What was the question?
What ways did Michael lean on you throughout the process?
Just we were kind of at different stages, but he definitely just asked questions, and as the process went on, sometimes you hit like issues throughout the process, and it's kind of natural too, and you just have to kind of take it in stride and either take a step back or whatever needs to happen, and just trust the process, and kind of help them with that.
Were you able to kind of learn from your own experience not to push it too fast and to kind of go at a pace that feels comfortable?
Nick, do you have any idea what Joey's plans are in terms of whether he's interested in coming here or whether he's retiring or what he's going to do?
Yeah, I think he's working on his golf game right now, so I don't think he's thinking too much about football.
Nick, Kyle's kind of indicated that you'd be ready around the start of training camp, if not soon after. Is that kind of what your expectation is, or are you even thinking?
I'd say so, yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Christian, what do you think so far of Kalon Black?
He's been great, man. Yeah, he's been everything you would want in a rookie. Super attentive in meetings, does everything right, has a bunch of talent, and complements our room really well.
How's off-season been up to this point for you?
It's been great. Off-season's been great. Same old. To be honest, yeah, a lot of the same stuff, but it's been an awesome off-season.
In the at the owners' meetings, Kyle talked about like some of the areas where the offense, the running game in particular, can improve on that average per game. He talked a little bit about scheme too, that there were some issues. But when you look back on last season, how do you feel you guys can take that next step to get that average per rush up to where it had been?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just focusing on what I can do and what I can do better. And I think, breaking tackles, hitting those long ones, that's something I can get better at. That I've been focusing on all off season is just getting the big play back. That's the things I can focus on. You can't always control what happens in a play, but if the hole's there, you got to hit it, and you got to make the 8 to 10 yard runs, the big ones. And if it's not there, you got to do everything you can to get 4 or 5 or get 3 or 4, whatever it is. And so I try to keep my mindset simple and just focus on what I can do to be the best back I can be.
Were there instances last year when you look back at film and go, man, there was one there, there was one there?
Man, every year. There's after every game, you're always, rarely are you like, yeah, that was awesome. You watch a tape and we're a lot of us are our hardest critics, and I think that's a good way to be, and because there's always something you can get better at.
Conversation obviously about the workload getting lighter or whatever. I know you kind of talked about that, but are there pros and cons for you when you think about if it gets lighter or if it stays the same?
It's fine. I've been dealing with those questions for 9 years. It feels like I think the workload in our sport is really monitored in practice, not in games. We play 17 regular season games a year, and everybody's livelihoods are on the line. And so I always say on Sunday, you got to do whatever it takes to win. And that's not a coach's job. You don't tell a 3-point shooter, you only get 6 threes today. It's so much of it is rhythmic, and it's my job to put my body in the best position I can to go out there and play. And I think everything else can be monitored during the week or with a practice schedule with certain ways you train, whatever it may be. But when it comes to game days, I like to think prepare yourself to play in every snap.
Are you participating in any of the team stuff now, or is that on hold until camp?
Yeah. You guys came on the day I was not going.
missing on the side.
Yeah.
Staying in shape.
Yeah, I'm practicing, just not today. Yeah.
Are there things that you can do at this point in the off season, knowing that that 16-hour flight is ahead of you, and what is your mind already racing as far as how you can treat your body on that flight to Australia and that flight back?
My mind is not racing right now on that. I think, just putting your body in the best position you can for camp, and so have a good camp, finish OTAs out really strong, and go, all that stuff will get addressed that week.
What's it been like having Mike Evans here?
Been awesome, man. He's such a presence. You see him in the huddle. He's got every attribute you would want in a receiver, and it's definitely not a shock when you see it live in person why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's cool to have him a part of our team.
I know that George had some recruiting pitches to him. Were you involved in any of those?
I wasn't involved. I didn't get the invite, but if I did, I would have definitely. He's been somebody just being in Carolina, I had to go against a lot, and it was just a nightmare. So not just in the pass game, in the run game too. So having him on our side is great.
Last offseason, you guys had the big roster exodus, and Kyle kind of brought you guys together as veterans. There was just uncertainty about what you were going to be. What did it mean for you this offseason then to see the team kind of back in, adding veterans, adding guys that can potentially help you win right now?
Awesome. Yeah, I think when you see the guys on our roster, you see them around the building, it feels competitive in the best ways. Getting a guy like Dre Greenlaw back, just the energy that brings to the locker room, to our team. Adding a guy like Mike Evans, seeing some new faces, some old faces, it's feels like home.
What were your impressions of Jordan James last season and also this offseason?
Jordan's been great, always been great. He's another guy that just does everything right, can run any scheme. He's gotten a lot better in the pass game, and is explosive and can really do it all. So another guy that complements the room really well.
Kyle told us about Isaac's injury. Have you been able to talk with him and maybe give him some advice, lift him up a little bit? I'm sure a tough time.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's sometimes this game is super unfortunate. He was working his butt off all off season, and sometimes it's that freak stuff that happens where you strain something training in the weight room and something like it's unfortunate, but he's got the best attitude. He's coming in every single day with a smile, still working just as hard, and it's not a season-ending injury. He'll be back, so it's also perspective. As much as he's down, he knows that he will be back for the season. So I think there's also some enthusiasm there.
A couple more for Christian. I would imagine that Kyle Black comes in and he wants to kind of pick your brain of things that he can kind of maybe get better at or pay attention to as he gets consistent with the system here. Has that happened at this point?
Definitely. Yeah, he's eager to learn. I think the best tool he has right now is Bobby T. Our meetings, the same coaching points I'm getting, he's getting, but he's somebody that's so eager to learn. And so we've had a couple conversations outside of practice on different things that I'm seeing, but what I see in him already, and it's been just a few weeks, is he can pick things up so quickly. It doesn't take him long. Like once he does something or once you tell him something, he knows how to correct it, knows how to fix it, and he's a true football player. And so as he just continues to be at practice and get these reps, he'll learn all this stuff on his own as well. But yeah, we have such a great room. Our running back room, I got to say, is just it's so much fun to be a part of because we all feed off each other's energy. We all have healthy competition and support each other in a lot of ways.
Maybe not. Just wondering if coming off of a championship like he just got, do they usually, in your experience, guys that come in, rookies that come in off of a situation like that versus just coming in out of college, is there a difference in their mindset?
I don't think there's just those two kinds of players. I think it's more individual than that.
When you hear the news that Mike Evans is coming to your offense, do you immediately think about how he can be used, how Kyle Shanahan can use him?
I get excited. Yeah, definitely. I think it's, especially in our system and a player like that. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what you would think. You get excited for sure.
One more. Anything? What did it take you to kind of overcome the way the season ended and just that bitter taste in your mouth? Yeah.
Yeah, each year there's I never won a Super Bowl, so I've always been pretty bitter after the year, and that's football. That's the NFL. I think you move on. You don't ever really get over it, you know, and I think that's what keeps you going, is that itch and that hunger to keep going. And you look back on the things and that you did or didn't do, and you correct the mistakes, capitalize on your strengths, see where you can get better, and that just fuels you all off season. So I think our team has that same mindset too. We know where we want to go, and that's the mindset. Appreciate it, guys. I'm ready.
Like just walking through those doors again when you came back to the 49ers?
Yeah, just unbelievable feeling, just missing the guys, missing the organization, missing just everybody, all the workers in the organization, the coaches. Yeah, I mean, just a sense of feeling like home. That's what I kind of got.
After Denver did what they did you immediately, I mean, was this the number one spot? Was there ever another team that entered your mind as far as where you'd play this season?
No, it wasn't. No, I didn't think about nowhere else. Honestly, I mean, it could have been like if it wasn't a possibility, but I mean, I was coming back here, so.
Like, you're in practice, you're standing next to Fred, watching the back of the defense. What was that like, just being next to him again?
Just feels like normal. I mean, just to be beside a guy like Fred, just always locked in. Just his love for the game, I mean, it just radiates throughout the whole team. So his leadership and just, you know, his voice, you know, that's the main thing. Like, he's the voice on the defense, and, you know, you got somebody like that just confident right next to you. I mean, it just kind of settles you down, and then, yeah, so it just feels like normal.
You watching from center field with Fred, and that's where John Lynch, as a former safety, also likes to watch practice. What do you glean from that angle?
I was actually watching from the side, and Fred was like, "Hey, man, you get a little different view back here." So I was like, "All right." So I went back there because he look at the view. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just being behind, it's not much different, I guess, than being on side. But it gives you a different perspective. Like, I don't know, you just kind of see the whole picture rather than just kind of looking at your position group. You kind of get just a big visual of the defense and just kind of see where everybody at their spots and just kind of fill it out from there.
When you left, Kyle and John had made an effort to fly to try to talk you into staying. Can you explain just what your reasoning was for leaving? And throughout last year, were there times where you regretted your decision, or was it just kind of the way things played out?
That's a good question. I think the toughest part about the whole decision was the fact that I just already had committed. Just, you know, obviously just that process is a tough process for both sides. So, you know, everybody feels a certain way or this or that. And for me, it was just, you know, I was already committed to them. So for me, it was hard to say yes to this person. And then, although this is where I belong, you know, I make that commitment, especially in that position where I'm not on a team. So it's tough. And, yeah, I mean, but everybody was kind of, you know, in the loop, but not exactly in the loop about what was going on. So, you know, I'm thankful that everything did happen the way it did because I'm here now, you know. No telling what happens if, you know, I take that offer then and then, you know, we all know that last year was a tough year. So you just never know how it would have went. But, I mean, I'm happy to play football, and I'm happy to be here where my feet at and play for the 49ers. So that's all that matters.
How tough was last year, and were there times during last year you're like, boy, I wish I was on San Francisco?
Last year was tough. Last year was real tough, real tough. Yeah, but, you know, it's just part of ball, you know. It's part of life, you know. Life ain't never been just you know, going the way you think it's going to go or going the way you want it to go. But, you know, I had to, you know, learn a lot about myself last year. And then, you know, just take a step back and, you know, I didn't get a chance to play football a lot. So, I mean, I'm just grateful to be able to be healthy right now to play football. But, you know, you definitely have times when things weren't going good that you kind of felt like, damn. But, I mean, like I said, I don't think none of it was a mistake. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say that I'd do it again, but I let it play out just the same because, like I said, like, I'm just always thankful to be where my feet are, and there's no telling where I'd be now if that thing went the way it did last year. And it gives you a different perspective on how, you know, how much the building really means, how much the people inside the building means to you, how much, you know, that passion you play for isn't just for the love of the game, but it's for the love of the building as well. So, you know, it just gives you a lot of, you know, a little bit of reality and just, okay, why do you play the game of football? And, yeah, so it was some hard times, but at the end of the day, yeah.
On that perspective, you think about yourself when you were here before last year and now yourself here. Does it seem like it's two different eras? And if so, what is the difference coming back with the 49ers that you just mentioned, the difference in perspective that you were able to get?
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a different perspective, but, you know, I mean, it is because, you know, after you go to another organization, you just kind of realize, you know, all the things that you missed, you know, and you miss with the guys here and just the everyday stuff, you know, after practice, talking to them, the guys on the team, just being in the locker room with the guys on the team. So, yeah, I mean, it's a different perspective as far as, like, you know, you're a lot more thankful for, you know, what you had. And yeah, well, I'm sorry, what was the rest of your question?
guess what I'm asking is, does it feel like there's more of an emphasis now that you're back in the building to do things? I know you were an energy guy when you were here. Is there more of an emphasis to be even more of that, even more vocal, even more knowledgeable for the younger rookies here? Is there a difference, or are you coming back kind of the same as the way you were here before?
Yeah, I mean, you're never the same, but I mean, I ain't got to do nothing more than what I normally do, and that's just play football. I mean, I've never been a talkative guy, a loud guy that's doing all this, and that's Fred's job. I mean, I just repeat whatever he says. So, yeah, that's never really been my role. My role, was to go out there and just have fun and play football, and I think that kind of just take care of itself naturally. Whatever passion and whatever, all that comes from just being myself and playing the game. So it's not nothing more that I got to do or, all I got to do is get the call, play ball.
There's a high standard here.
For sure.
Did you kind of recognize that a little bit more?
1,000% is different here for sure.
Niners struggled to rush the passer last year. I know your former team last year, the Broncos, set the NFL record for sacks. Is there anything maybe while off the field you learned just as the defense as a whole, like getting more sacks, interceptions, takeaways?
I mean, I just learned that it's just, some defenses work better for these people and some defenses work better for these people. And, that defense is set up for a great D-line to go and dominate. And, yeah, so, I mean, I didn't learn no pass rusher moves, but, yeah, I mean, just seeing the difference between the defenses and how they operate, how this defense in a 4-down operate versus 5-down. It's a lot of differences. But, you got to have D-line for both of those schemes to get what you want done.
Hey, what did you learn about yourself last year?
That's a good question. A little bit of what I've already known, but, when times get tough, I can't, it ain't nobody ever to point the finger at, and I don't blame nobody for the choices I make and for, the way things happen throughout the year. Never been that person to blame anybody, but it's kind of more of what I've already known. But honestly, just resilient as crap. Like, I mean, it's just I don't want to go into the season, but just didn't go the way I wanted to. But I know, got the chance to play the last game versus the Patriots, and no matter how the season was going, I always just showed up ready to go, ready to play, and give it my all. And yeah, so I mean, something I've already kind of known, but at the end of the day, I've always been in an environment where I got my guys around me. So to be in an environment where ain't got nobody there, same as kind of how life has been, and just continue to push and push and push, and know that God gonna put me in a position where I need to be, and He ain't gonna set me somewhere where I'm supposed to be. And I believe that full-heartedly. So that's why I don't take nothing back. And yeah, I mean, something I've already known, but God is definitely, He got my back. So
going back to that standard, there's been some personnel changes here since you left. Do you feel like that standard is still intact, and do you feel like that window is still open for it to be as high as it has been in the past?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, even when I was gone, I knew that San Fran was still going to have the capability of getting to the playoffs, getting to the Super Bowl, whatever is in store for them, and that's just because of the guys that's on the team. I mean, you got the best leadership, just great quality of guys here. You don't get that too many places, and no matter what position it is, it's a leader somewhere, and somebody that's, you can look up to and say, okay, he's going to do his job. You know what I mean? So I think everything that's in store that we wanted, 5 years down the road or 5 years before, we still got that same opportunity now. Like, I don't see no different. If anything, I see more of a, opportunity for us to do it, just because we're veterans, we're vets, we've seen everything, and yeah, I mean, it's just our turn to get it done. So
same speed. It seemed like your whole career, whether Arkansas, Denver, here, it means a lot to you, obviously. Where did that come from? Why does it mean so much to you?
I mean, yeah, just growing up, just like I said, just if I don't find a way to do it, then it ain't gonna get done. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't want to be the reason for it not getting done either. You know what I mean? So I've been through too much and come this far to get on that field and not give it everything I got. There's nothing's promised, nothing's guaranteed. I understand that, I can tweak an ankle or this or that, and who knows. So I don't know until it's about every chance and every time I get to get on that field, whether it's practice or whatever, just enjoying the moment and just playing hard as hell because you don't know when your next opportunity is gonna be.
Branch. Last one, Branch, go ahead.
Dre, a lot of guys with Achilles say, they can come back in 9 months or a year, but they actually don't feel like they're back to, really back until, I don't know, sometime after that. I don't know if that was your experience, but kind of when did you feel like, okay, I don't have to worry about the Achilles anymore, I don't feel this?
I kind of felt like that throughout the Denver season. That's when I kind of felt like, all right, I kind of got adjusted to the normal, and then, still felt like, was still kind of feeling it out, but I felt like I got adjusted to the normal, and then probably about midway to, kind of once I got back and from rehabbing with the quad a little bit, I kind of felt like, I could go and practice and I could warm up and I could do everything, and I didn't got to worry about no pain, no nothing. So I ain't got to worry about what shoes I got on, all that kind of stuff. So I'd say probably about last year is when I first felt like, for at least a week or two or multiple days in a row straight that I felt like, all right, I'm good to go now. So, and I've been feeling great in Achilles ever since. So.
Thanks, Dre.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
A lot of you guys today, huh?
Colton, what are your impressions of the two offensive line draft picks? Both guys seem to have pretty good personalities. Have you picked up on that?
Yeah, I think they're good rookies. You never know how they are going to be until they get in the room and you see the draft process and how it works. And then both Carver and Enrique are, they fit well into our room. I think we're a lot better than what we have been before. So to add these two guys, and obviously you see that there's some explosiveness with both of them, and they're both going to be good fits for the room. So excited to see what they can do. And obviously it's just OTAs, so they're getting their first taste, but we'll see in camp.
Stood out in the pre-draft process for his speed and his athleticism. Is that something that's evident when you're out there at practice?
Oh yeah. You can see it. That's obviously he's a little raw, so when it comes to the football side of it, he's still going to learn and do that. But when it comes to a skill set and what a guy has available and tangible asset as a length, speed, quickness, all that stuff, you're not going to find a guy who has more.
Last year, you got a lot of questions about the offseason exodus of all the guys leaving, what you guys were kind of uncertainty going this year. This offseason, you guys reinvest in veterans and in guys who can help you win now. Just as an invested observer, what was it like this offseason, kind of getting back to adding and going for it again?
Yeah, it feels good. Every year we all know the goal is Super Bowl, and when you can add guys like, Mike and Kirk and, guys with real speed and can get open, obviously from a skill point, and then some of the guys we've added in our room as well. So, when you got guys who are coming in and you see the front office working, putting guys in early, just even before the draft, it adds a little confidence that, obviously they know there's a bigger goal at hand, but then, you're seeing it backed up for us too. But, our goal is always the same.
Coming off of the year that you had, did you feel like that, you were maybe a little ahead of the curve in the reset, that what you guys did on the field maybe upped the urgency to get back to that, what the front office did?
Yeah, I don't think, there was a lot of hope for us last year, that's for sure. But, I think we rehashed everything, reset our goals as a team, what our rules were, who we were as a team, and then bringing along the young guys bought in, which was huge, There's a lot of confidence at the beginning of the season, but you saw guys like AC, Stout, like a lot of these guys came in, Michael, that came in and just played really well and bought in that, there's a standard here at the Niners, and they played up to that. So, you want to forget about the 24 season, but it was needed to get to last year. So to have those guys come in and buy in, now it's, their turn to talk to the rookies now, and also our job as well as leaders of the team to be like, hey, this is the standard we've set. And our goal is playoffs every year and Super Bowl, but, that wasn't even the calling card last year. It was just, see where we are as a team and go from there. So, yeah, we were playing with, house money, but also, that's the goal in the long run.
I know last offseason you added the Vallejo Hill in your training regimen. Are you climbing a mountain this offseason or anything different that you're adding?
Mountains of Idaho, yeah. A little more elevation there, but no, I love training in the city. Right off Front Street, Vallejo, Kearney, all of it, going up to Coy Tower, running the brick staircases over there. So it's cool to train and have a little more, city behind you feeling, at least in my training.
Colton, there's 5 new guys in the room, 3 free agents. You got a couple draft picks. Is this the deepest offensive line room that you've been in since you've been in the league?
Yeah, I think it's one of them. 2021 we were pretty deep. We had a lot of older vets in that room, but I think this is from a overall standpoint for sure. I think a couple of us said we're better off at the beginning of this year than we have been. I think since I've been here. So I think depth-wise, yeah, we have it. We have the skill guys in there as well for us. So you got guys who can run, and that's what this offensive line needs, is guys who can run and get on guys and sustain blocks.
And the fact that 4 of the 5 starters return, what does that continuity do for that unit to take that next step?
It's everything. When you can have guys who are playing together through big games like last year, the year before that. Jake and Trent and I have played, I think 3 years in a row now, going on 4. Obviously, Trent and Jake have played even longer together, and then now with Dom and I being, going into year 3 playing next to each other. So just having that continuity and knowing what we're going to do when it comes to games or twists or just whatever comes up in a game, we're pretty adaptable and we know how to work well with each other. And then having a guy who can come in as the left guard, obviously the spot's everyone watching. So if you can get a guy that can come in and fit into that role pretty well, then that's going to be even better for our group. But, we're looking to be a top 10 unit like we have in the past, top 15, whatever that is. But, we've got a good group up front.
When you go through a year like you guys went through last year, the transition that you were talking about, and then the injuries that you dealt with, and you still win 12 games and a playoff game, what does it say about that group last year, but also the future for what you guys are trying to do moving forward?
It says that this group's ready to win. That's what it does. We didn't know last year what this team was going to do. There wasn't a whole lot of, playoff talks, Super Bowl talks, whatever it was. It was just, are you going to get better each week and win each week? So when that eventually that was the reward for that 12-win season. Yeah, it feels great. I think we're ahead of the curve, whatever that means in a rebuild or however you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. There's 2 teams in our division. Obviously, Arizona is still going to be tough, but there's 2 who are at the top as well that ride along with us. So are we ahead of it? I don't know. We'll see, when we play in Melbourne, Australia. But it's a good feeling going into the next 40 days after this next week. So, I think we're at a good starting point for this team.
You obviously, I assume, can afford groceries and everything after your contract extension, so you're doing okay on that front. Yeah. But when you see offensive linemen and how they get paid when they do reach free agency, obviously, you didn't know how the season was going to play out before you signed that last year. But was there any sort of oh man, it would have been nice to hit the open market, or any regrets?
No, not one. My goal never was to be the highest paid. That wasn't my obviously money, you're in the NFL, money's the main thing. We all want to get paid, we want to have generational wealth. I want to have my grandkids have money too, but with the contract I was offered, and honestly, I don't want to leave here. Obviously being cut, I got some scars there, but to be able to be cut, be a draft pick here, gold helmet guy, whatever that means, but there was a reason why I was here, drafted here, why I was cut here, why I still played here, and then now I've had 3 good seasons of starting and then going into the 4th. So why would I, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I saw a lot of guys not get paid in free agency this year. So there's a demand, whatever, but I like it here. I want to be on that 10-year wall. So there's a lot more besides the money that a contract gives you that's available in this town, in this city, that's more important to me than a dollar amount. So the connections I make off the field in San Francisco and what I'm doing with my youth stuff in the city and in Idaho as well, there's no reason for me to risk or just taking a chance to go somewhere else.
Have you talked to Scribbling
follow
about
up on that question. Drake Greenlaw kind of said the same thing. Going away from here is just different. Being away and then being able to come back, you're just more grateful to be here in this building, in this room with this team. If you could go into detail, what are those things? What is the difference from being away from here to then being here?
I think there's a sense of family. When you come here, like a lot of guys that do, like Dre, there's a reason why he was drawn back here. Like when you have a core group of players who understand a winning culture, I talk to Charlie Warner all the time too. He's my best man at my wedding. And like even he still talks about it. Like when you have a core group of players who understand the standard of what this franchise was built on and what the standard is, and that's a 6 Super Bowl, and you don't win it, and it's the goal every year, obviously, and you want to uphold that standard, and everyone knows that winning is the ultimate goal here, and you have that buy-in from veteran players and a front office and then a coaching staff as well, and the whole goal is winning. It's hard for guys to turn that away. Like when they do go away and it's not the same, that's what makes this place special, and why I never want to leave, and I'm sure why Drake came back.
gold helmet and whatever that is? Have you talked to Stribling to get more insight into what a gold helmet actually is?
No, I think it just has to do with, high character guy, plays the right way, plays physical, a leader. I'm sure that's when it comes down to, they're scouting in college and there's a certain amount that they give out. I didn't know at the time, and then obviously now I get to understand what it is, and I think I've fit that role pretty well now.
You mentioned the left guard battle. What do you see, early impressions of the guys at that spot?
I think Connor Colby's come a long way. I think you never know how your rookie season's going to go. It can be really good or really bad, and you learn a lot. You're kind of flying by the seat of your pants, and you don't really have a whole lot of technique. You're just thrown in, and it's a whirlwind. So to see him play a lot faster right now, obviously it's OTAs. We're not hitting. We'll obviously see in July, but to see him kind of come out of his rookie season and take a breath and then now come in a little more rejuvenated, understands the scheme a little more, to see him come out and play faster, it's good to see. He's a great guy, and then obviously you're going to have Rob Jones, another explosive guy coming out of Miami. So it's going to be a fun battle in July for that spot. But I think we've got some guys who can fill in that role.
One, Jen. I think it's hard for us outside the building to understand. You think that every franchise would want a winning culture and to want to win. So explain how this building, I know you've only been here, but I know you've got guys in your room that have gone off to other organizations without throwing anyone under the bus. Explain to us how this organization does that.
There's not a lot of fluff. I think, having not been anywhere, it's all hypothetical, right? So there could be, a lot of just distractions in buildings, whether that's money or ticket sales or, I don't know, I'm not an owner, I don't know. So the way I see it is that, and what I've heard from other, players that come here, is that there isn't a sole focus on winning. And you kind of know going into a season if it's going to be good or bad, just based on your team, who you have, what it feels like in the building. But guys are drawn to this place, and it is that feeling of winning. It is that feeling of, there's a sole goal in mind in this building, and it starts from the top down. And obviously, when you have leaders like we do, that goal is reciprocated, and that's why guys flock here.
All right, thanks, Colton. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.